Before you stress up the groove, the energy a little different when the blessings accrue. Hey, who you talking to? Just know I ain't no regular fool. Could be anything in the world, but I can never be you because I dance hard like I'm on my tiptoes, baby. You think a little too small. I got big goals, baby. Ain't where the money at? Look, I just need the info. Pronto, I go and get it and split it with my kinfolk daily, and I'm the type of that might change my number on you. Yeah, that's how you react when people took a slumber on you. Pretty brown skin, baby, I can see the summer on you. You see all the bread, and I know it make you wonder, don't you, don't you, don't you? Ooh, I ain't surprised at all. Seen them rise and fall. Went up the mountain, it wasn't hard to climb at all. At the top, I found some relief. I finally got some peace. Carry on, but please don't mess up the mood. Yeah. I work too hard for it. No, I need to beat it before you mess up the mood. Yeah, ooh, I work too hard for it.
Happy Saturday, everyone. We're back again for another episode of Mental Health. This is 102. So tonight we do have some guests with us tonight. I'm greatly appreciative of them coming on tonight. And we'll go ahead and get started and do our intros. And just FYI, Nika, you might want to unmute since you've been talking on mute today before we start.
I'm ready.
All right. So tonight, let's see, Miss Nika Pinks. We have her in the on with us tonight. DW as usual. Tonight we have Mr. Neil Moore on with us.
What's good, everybody?
And for many of you that know and have not been blessed, we have Francine Sanchez on tonight. So kicking in with this being Mental Health Awareness Month, we are trying to address various issues and dealing with that. I think all of us have had some kind of dealings with people or dealing ourselves with mental health.
Well, wait. First and foremost, I'm gonna do this disclaimer out there for anybody who's listening. The topic that we're going to talk about is a very sensitive topic, and it may trigger some emotions or feelings or past trauma. If that's the case, please reach out. There are so many resources out there that you can reach out to help you through these rough times. And again, like this, we're going to go deep. We might laugh, we might cry, but we're going to go deep. All right. And the second thing is, we don't do this a lot, so I'm gonna do it right now. We're gonna do a mental health check on us as a host and the guests. How y'all feeling?
I'm good today. I had a today was surprising for me. Going into what we talked about last week, and me and my brother putting our sibling dysfunction out, crazy way how it happened. I was actually able to re-meet my niece today, so that put me on a whole different high for real. And just pretty much all of us, three of the siblings ended up together with the nieces and the nephews with my dad. So that just really put me on a different high today.
That's what's up.
So on a scale of 1 to 5, well, 1 to 10, 10 being off the chain, 1 being you can't function, you need help. Where are you at right now?
I think I'm about an 8.
Okay, that's good. That's good. Nika, don't be trying to hide.
I'm not trying to hide. Today for me, I feel pretty good today. Outside of the gloom of San Antonio and the rain and not being able to get outside, I feel pretty good. I've been able to keep myself busy in the house, so I'm kind of like T. My kids not fussing and acting crazy. I'm kind of mellow right now, so I might be about an 8.
All right, we got 2 8s. All right. All right, Neil.
First of all, I want to say thank you too for having me on here. This is a privilege. This is an honor. I will be honest and say that the past maybe 30 to 45 days has been very roller coaster-ish for me. I have been on this journey where I've been kind of searching those areas in my life and in my heart that are what I would like to call not healed, and trying to figure out why. And so I've averaged between a 3 and a 7 over the past 30 days. The 3 has been when those times where I've just seen things in my life that I realize are toxic in nature and that may affect my marriage or the way I relate to my kids. And then maybe a 7 or 8 where I realize the situation and I get something, whether it's through my therapist, whatever, where I get healed from that. So today I would say I'm probably at a 7, because I did, and we may talk about it more as the podcast goes on, but I've been under some real scrutiny, like a lot of self-reflection, realizing that, I need to up my game a little bit, my emotional intelligence in areas where I've had wounds from my past. And so right now, I would say I'm like a 7, maybe a 7. I feel pretty good. But as we move on, I'm more than willing to share just kind of the areas where I've just seen some darkness and seen some hurts and things like that, that are that have been affecting me. So today, I say it's a 7.
All right, bet.
I love that.
And Francine, you look like you on a 10. You look like you on cloud 9 right now.
She looking good over there.
She max.
Well, this is my chair / bed. This is where I sleep at because it's so comfortable. I am, a lot of my mental health is reflective of my physical health. So I started walking in the mornings when I get off from work, but that causes me a lot of pain. And then when I wake up, I'm like a 66 Cutlass. I got to warm up before I get going. I promise you. So it's rough. So I'm trying to get my physical health together, but I'm also trying to, like you said, those toxic relationships. So my biological father, I'm in this battle. Well, not even a battle anymore. I need to do some healing around that relationship. And that was a real hard conclusion for me to come to. But anyway, it's so that, like T said, so the brothers and the sisters can heal that messiness up so our kids can have a relationship. So that has been like a mental battle in my head. But I'm about a 6 right now, but that's because I'm in pain. But I'm in pain all the time. But that's a whole nother episode, ma'am, about chronic pain and illness, rare diseases, and the disparities of care in Black women.
That part.
Girl, that part.
That part.
Open a can of worms.
Oh, baby.
Baby. Whew, Jesus. That, whew, I felt that in my spirit.
Yeah.
That part.
But you know what though? That's, if you don't mind, I'll piggyback off of that. Not that I'm a Black woman, but there was I want to make that out there just so everybody know.
We couldn't tell, so
yeah. Well, hey, I didn't know the facial. Maybe the facial hair was. I thought it'd be a giveaway, but it's a lot of women out there that have facial hair.
I'm a social worker, remember?
Yeah, I feel you. But as I was saying, one of the things that I remember hearing a guy say, and it is so true. He said the most unprotected person on the planet is a Black woman.
Yes.
It is, and it isn't just individualistic where men in their chauvinistic ways treat women horrible, Black women horrible, but it is systemic that women are not treated properly. And I'm telling you, you're right. That's a whole nother episode. You have me as a guest on that episode when you decide to do it, okay? I promise.
And it ties back to slavery, and we'll talk about that. Okay.
That's real talk.
Yeah, I was about to say we supposed to be talking about mental health. We're gonna talk.
But it really is tied to mental health.
That is.
It really is tied to mental health and how you're treated. I have a rare brain disorder. and how I'm treated and how my healthcare is treated really ties to my mental health.
Well, yeah, I know that part. Yeah, I got that
But
part.
So
but you know what? But
But
Darrell,
y'all took it back to down to slavery and stuff. I'm like, wait,
and that ties to
yeah.
mental health too.
There you
But
But you know
go.
what?
come on,
But you know what though? But here's the thing, and no disrespect, but like I would argue, and Miss Francine, you tell me if I'm right or wrong. I would argue that a good therapist would honor the past generational hurts of their patient, and it will then sharpen the therapeutic approach as they're trying to treat the person that's in front of them.
Okay, so
here's the problem with finding a good therapist. We I am a licensed master social worker. First of all, I don't do therapy. Therapy is not for me. I find that therapeutic approaches with a lot of the people don't work because a lot of the therapeutic models that we have don't address trauma. The issue with a lot of our people, Black people, is we are suffering from undiagnosed PTSD, and those therapeutic models that these therapists are working from don't address trauma. First of all,
right.
second of all, those good therapeutic relationships won't get there because they are using most of them are using CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy.
Yep.
They want to change your behavior. That
Yep.
does not address your trauma.
Nope.
That's why I
Not
don't
at
do
all.
therapy. I
Not
do,
at all.
well, I take that back. I will do brief solution focused therapy, and I do what is called reality therapy, or what I like to call you need to get your shit together.
Mm. Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
A therapy that is been known to be very effective with trauma is equine therapy.
Mm.
It is
All right.
very
Speak on that.
effective.
Speak on it. What is
It's
that?
it's therapy with horses. Equine is horse. It's
Yes.
very effective with trauma, and it's also to be very effective with people that have experienced sexual trauma.
Oh wow.
If I was
That's
to
not
get
okay. Okay.
certified,
You need to go. You need to dump. You need to Barney style that one. You just said it's therapy with horses. What are they riding the horses? Are they playing with the horses? Are they fighting the horses? What are they doing?
it's
What are they doing with
different.
these horses?
Get on my nerve.
So it is it's and y'all would have to look it up because it goes very deep. It's using the horse and the horse's entire environment as a way to process the trauma. And it's
Mm,
not using it in one kind of way. You don't
mm.
get to ride the horse off the bat. So in that whole environment, they use different ways to which you've experienced that trauma to get you through it.
And I
Okay.
And it is
I
very
remember reading on that before too. That is also good for autism
Oh wow.
yes.
because I've looked into that for Santi, and it's good
Let
for
me tell you, if the
autism.
VA is paying for it, Medicaid will pay for it.
Oh wow. That's good to know.
Medicaid
Baby.
follows the VA.
Mm.
There's a equine therapy place right here in Lido, south of San Antonio. And the reason why I know about it is because when I did my undergrad internship at juvenile probation, we did a visit, and this was 2008. We did a visit out there because they were trying to see how they were going to get it financed through Medicaid. If that was 2008, they already paying for it
That's
because the
good.
VA is using equine therapy now. It's 2021.
Yeah.
That's why
There's a place, Sage Social Services, that does equine therapy and all kinds of animal therapy here in San Antonio.
That's good to know.
yes, you always come with the info. Like that's why I love you. Like if anybody remember where I mentioned in the autism episode about my info person is Francine. This is Francine, and this is why. Because
I'm a
Mhm.
I know resources.
she knows the resources. Like
That's
real talk, she knows the resources, especially here in San Antonio. Definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I add something to that trauma therapy piece? Is that okay?
Sure.
Um, and I'm not pushing back on you, Ms. Francine, because I'm not licensed or credentialed or nothing like that. But I'm actually co-signing what you said about the cognitive behavioral piece, because like, changing a person's behavior is not going to heal their trauma. I can just speak for myself, and I can speak for like people that I've seen. The other issue with trauma therapy or trauma and how you for all intents and purposes get healed from it is that a lot of therapists are afraid to allow you got to actually sit and actually process how you were hurt, how it
Exactly.
traumatized you. You have to be
Exactly.
able to. So I'll just put myself out there. Like I'll give you an example. Like at 10 years old, a dude molested me, and I tried to push that away. I tried to not think about that. And then as I got older, and I'm trying to crush a lot, I'm thinking like I'm God's gift to women, but there's this thing hovering over me. And I had to do the work, and I had to sit in that and recognize that, like, it wasn't my fault. I did nothing to do it. He was a predator. He flowed in his predation against me. And once I sat in that and recognized how it did damage to me, then I was able to pick up the pieces and take the glue and put myself back together. A lot of therapists don't want to do that. They don't want to sit there and try to help a person process that. And this is just Neil's personal opinion. A lot of it is because they haven't done that for themselves.
Exactly. And here's the thing. Most therapists are female. We know that one out of every 4 females have been experienced some sort of sexual abuse in their life. So they haven't done that healing themselves. So when you look at it that way, that sexual trauma that you have experienced has probably triggered theirs. And we don't want to talk about that. I watch Iyanla Vanzant all the time, and one of the things that she say that always sticks to me: you cannot heal what you will not speak.
Ooh,
Yeah.
yes, very true, very true.
And that
I
mental
say,
health, we're talking about as we're talking about mental health, you know what I'm saying, and the health of our brain, our mind, our mindset. You know, people don't understand the disease of that. It's a dis-ease. You know what I'm saying?
yes,
And it's like and I'm not a guy. Let me just keep it 100. I'm not a guy who would say, I'm perfect. I'm 100% healed. Like I still deal with issues right now, but there's a recognition that I can't be resistant to sitting in that thing, saying it to the person, even saying it to my wife. You know what, honey? This is what's going on with me. And it may piss her off, but like I gotta put it out there. You know what I'm saying? And what I've noticed is that now that I've allowed myself to process it the way it should, that's when my mental health number, Duriel, goes up. You know what I'm saying? Because for years I would have said I was a 9 or a 10 when I was actually probably a 4. You know what I'm saying? And now that I'm like, you know what, man, God dog, you kind of jacked up on the inside, Now I'm starting to, get that increase in the health of where I am mentally, an emotionally healthy person. You know what I'm saying? But it's not easy. That's the other part too. You know what I'm saying? Like, cats ain't trying to be like, in their feelings like that, especially brothers. I'm put us
Yeah,
out.
put that out there. Definitely put that out there. So question, Durio definitely opened it up asking how everybody's mental health was today.
He didn't answer.
What?
He didn't answer.
I was gonna go back today. You caught that too. I was gonna go back. That's where I'm going. So, DW, how are you feeling today?
We've been open and honest. I'm probably right now with everything going on, probably like a 4.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah. But
Honest.
here's the thing with me. Here's the thing with me. I can function at a 4, 5, so I can still function. Anything less than that is not good.
Wow.
So yeah, with everything like just going on right now, job, life, yeah, I'm at about a 4.
Wow.
So let me challenge you.
What?
Functioning at a 4 and a 5 is not healthy. Even
I
though
know.
we can do, even though we can do it, doesn't mean we should do it. See,
Yeah,
we put our, and this is something that I've had to learn. We put ourselves in these situations in life to where we say, "Oh well, I can do it. I can do it. I can do it."
yeah,
And trust me, I know I can.
yeah.
We prove to ourselves every day that we can, but it will catch up with you.
Yeah, that's real.
Yeah, it does. It definitely does. Yeah, real talk. So, Duriel, I'm gonna put you
Yes.
in the hot seat since you already in.
All right, wait, I'll get in the hot seat. Nah, go ahead.
We're talking about mental health. So,
I know.
what when you go under that 4, what does that look like?
Mm.
When I go like you talking about like 3, 2,
Ain't that under 4?
There's a
He got
relationship
this-
there.
He's
That was-
using that
that was
special
so-
Korean
That was
math.
so condescending. I swear. I'm just like, Duriel, oh my gosh. That was so crazy.
He used special Korean math, ma'am. He don't use American math.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
y'all got jokes now. All right.
Hey, bro, I got your back, bro. I got your back. I got your back.
I
Girl, you
appreciate
don't. You might not want to.
it. It's just like there's nothing. Like I lose track of stuff easy. Just sit at home. Shit, don't do nothing. Like literally, don't do nothing. No TV, no nothing. Just be sitting
So
there.
depression and isolation.
Yeah. You want to use a scientific terms? Yes.
No, that's not a scientific term, sir.
Why don't you sound like somebody's school teacher?
No,
It is not
Sir,
a 3-to-1 in here.
that's crazy.
You know Francine.
Hey,
She gonna get on that ass tonight.
yeah.
I know.
Yeah. Okay.
It ain't no bushes in this room, so we ain't got nothing to beat around.
Hey, that's real. But you know what? So,
See,
First
I
of all-
told y'all I'm not a therapist.
no, I appreciate that. First of all, can I just say before I forget to say this, this is the type of platform that we need. Oh my gosh. And let me just say, I
I
have
on
mad
all the
respect.
time because I work at night.
Yeah, I have so much mad respect for you, Miss T and Duriel, for doing this. I just want to say that before I say anything else. But because Duriel is my boy, like he and I've been friends since like the way back, I cannot allow what I'm seeing to go forward without me at least giving my brother this one piece of advice. If you don't mind, I just want to say this one. And it's not just for him, but just for everybody. Because when she said isolation, let me tell y'all, that is the greatest detriment to us, not only as people, but Black people. Okay?
Isolation breeds depression.
So, Duriel and everybody that's on this podcast, I just want to give you just a quick analogy. If you break your bone, let's just say you break your arm, the body flows every piece of nutrient and blood to that bone because it wants it to get healed. The bone that breaks cannot say, you know what, body, I want to separate myself from you. Therefore, I don't need your help. I don't need to get healed. The bone cannot do that. It is forced to adhere to the main body and accept healing. We as Black people especially, or just people in general, when we isolate ourselves, we're being that broken bone that's trying to isolate itself from the body and not allow itself to get healed. That's what we're doing. So Duriel, what I would say to you is, when you isolate yourself because you may be at a 3 or a 4, you're not allowing yourself as a body part to receive the nutrients that it needs to get healed. And whatever that is, whether it's a therapist, whether it's your friends, whether it's an Xbox, whatever you need to not, because here's the thing, the body can't even, a broken bone is not even able to isolate itself. It can't do it. And the reality is, neither can you. You really can't isolate yourself from getting healed. You have to, that is actually a choice that we make, to isolate ourselves from things that would help us on the journey to get better. So for you, I would say there needs to be an intentionality when you know that you're at that place that's the low core, that you cannot be a broken bone in isolation, because the body doesn't allow that. Your body wouldn't allow that. So why can't you do that for your brain as well?
Because you've gotten to a point in your functioning to where you can't do it by yourself.
Yeah.
So remember when we were talking last week, where someone mentioned that they had a safe word where they pick up the phone and they call.
Yeah.
So when you get to that level of functioning, you need to set something up like that, where you call somebody, a safe word, you do something, you send an email, you send a text, and they know, hey, this is what I need at this point. Because what we do is we say, oh, I'll figure it out, or it's going to work itself out, or it'll get better, or I've seen this before, or days will get better. Like we just feel like we're going to be miraculously healed, or my grandma praying for me, or somebody, mama praying for me, so I know I'm going to come out on the other end.
Hey.
Yeah. You.
Because ain't nobody never prayed me out of depression.
Yeah.
That ain't how it works.
That part.
Yeah.
Dur, I ain't gonna let you stew in your stuff yourself.
I'm good.
No,
I'm not talking to Dur, I'm not talking to him.
No, I'm saying
I'm talking in general
on the level, because I know that when when I hit my go below that 4 myself, I will isolate. I don't want to be bothered with nobody. Or I have my particular people in which I deal with. And when I say particular people, I know that these people, they have that potential to help usher me, or at least to get up a couple of more notches. And I know that they're not going to stress me more or put me backwards. It's like, when you deal with people, you have to know the audience in which you have. I have some people in my life that I know that require too much attention and put too much on me. So I know when I have to unplug for that person, I'll be like, nope, no communication, no text. I ain't taking nothing from them because I know they take too much from me. So the last couple of weeks, my team knows I've had to unplug from some people and from my mental health, because I know they stuff is too much for me. I know when I can't take anymore.
Wow.
I have made it intentional in this season in my life that them people that just require too much of me, I just don't need them type of people in my life. If our relationship is not balanced, then I don't need you in my life. Because if you require that much of a burden on my life, then either we gonna make this relationship balanced, or we just not gonna have a relationship.
Yeah.
Because if I have to consciously think of my mental health before I have a conversation with you, something is wrong.
Yep.
You know what?
I don't even care if they're related to me. See, that's the part.
That part.
I don't even care if they're related to me.
That part.
I feel like
So
they
then
need to
you,
give as much as they take.
And if it
They
ain't
not just
balanced and they don't
constant.
want to fix that balance, bye, peace.
so
Yeah.
then you're isolating yourself.
I'm not isolating myself. If we cannot have a healthy relationship, you do not need to be in my life. It is about formulating healthy relationships at this season in my life. And if
Mm.
that relationship is not healthy, you can. I have people. First of all, I can't isolate myself because that woman ain't gonna let me. I trust me. That ain't gonna happen. Cause Crazy Cajun, um, ain't no isolation from Crazy Cajun. Look at her. She messaging me right now. I didn't told her I'm live on the podcast, and she still keep messaging me.
Oh, is this like your partner in the house?
It's my girlfriend. She lives in
Okay.
Louisiana.
Yeah.
Um, so trust me, there's no isolation. I live in a house with three other women, a dog and a turtle. I am not isolated.
But you
But
can
you know
be
what,
My,
you. Go ahead.
but Daryl, I know what you I kind of figure what you're
but
about to
you
get
can
into,
live with
Daryl.
people and still be isolated. I
Boom.
knew you was gonna go there
But see,
because
and that's why it's like all of us. It looked like all of us in here are above the age of 30. Is that a good assumption?
no, sir, I am
I'm young.
25.
28.
Okay, my bad.
Uh-uh.
Look,
Don't
hey,
do that.
Daryl, did you see it come out that
Uh-uh.
came a black woman?
Uh-uh.
Don't even try to,
Don't even.
my bad,
Uh-uh. Don't
I,
set yourself up like that, sir.
my bad, my bad.
I'm good. I accept my 43 very proudly
I
because
proud.
Okay,
Renee,
well, you do that then.
But what I was saying was, it's like all of us are in that like a season in our life, and I've learned, and I'm gonna just put the nuggets at, because anytime I get a nugget, I don't hoard it. I want to share it
yeah,
because um there's a difference between having a leech as a friend or as a person who is more symbiotic as a friend. You know what I'm saying? Because symbiosis in nature is they exchange nutrients, they exchange goods so that they can both be healthy. A
yeah,
leech
Exactly.
sucks you dry and then goes on to the next.
A
And
parasite.
those are
That's
the
what
folks that we
babies
don't
are.
want in our life. Get the leeches out of your life. I want somebody who's going to be more symbiotic. I want to exchange information. Let's exchange, the new word for the young people is energies. Let's exchange. Let's have more symbiosis. Those are the kind of relationships that I want. I've had
Exactly.
a leech. You done sucked me dry, dog. Get the hell out. You know what I'm saying?
I
I'm
dropped them
good.
off at the homeless shelter.
What you say? What you say?
Never
She said
mind.
she
Carry on,
she
sir.
said she drop them off at
Carry
the
on,
homeless
sir.
shelter.
That's a
What the hell?
Hey, look,
So
hey, look. To all those who are watching, I'm new to the broadcast. I cannot claim what Look, you got to put that disclaimer out there, right?
so let me ask. So let me pick y'all brain. So everybody on here is seasoned, right? So how can we? What message can we send to the folks that are not seasoned, that are dealing with these issues?
Oh,
so
great
this
question.
is what I tell people. And this is how I explain it. In the world, we like to act as if the head is not connected to the body when it comes to mental illness.
mm,
So if you wouldn't say it to somebody that has cancer, don't say it to somebody that has mental illness. We don't
Mm.
tell people, and I'll get into the whole religious subject in a minute because that's a whole different topic. Because people are more likely to reach out to their religious organization first before they reach out to a mental health specialist.
Mm-hmm.
So I went to a conference a few years ago. So I'll give you my thoughts on that in a second. So we don't, if you wouldn't tell it to somebody that has cancer, don't tell it to somebody that has a mental illness. Don't be afraid to reach out for help.
Mm.
If you don't know what the resources are, ask somebody. If you are on this chat, on this podcast, and you don't know what the resources are, inbox me. I will lead you in the right direction.
Mm.
And she really will. That
I
she
do not know the answer. I may not know the answers, but I will lead you in the right direction.
Yeah.
definitely.
Okay. This is my other caveat. If you are with somebody and they are in mental health crisis, you can take them to the nearest emergency room.
Yep.
They will treat them.
Yep.
What's up?
If they are in severe decompensation, you can call 911. With this caveat, if you do not know their legal circumstance, if you think they got a warrant, homeboy running from the law, may have just committed a crime, do not call 911.
Mm.
Here's the real deal. I work in the jail here in San Antonio. Our jails, if you call the police, they're going to take them to jail
Wow.
because we have mental health available in the jail. Is it good mental health? No.
Mm.
I will be the first to tell you it is not good mental health.
Mm.
It is a bunch of bullshit.
All right.
So, and it's funny that you said that because on the last mental health segment, I said that exact same thing. Like throughout history, the only way Black people could get mental health resources is the jail or an insane asylum. And here it is, like damn near, I don't want to say
That
100 years, but
that is not the only way they can get help. They can go to the hospital. They can walk into any psychiatric hospital and say, I want to be assessed. And they will get assessed.
yeah, now, yeah,
Well, it used to be the Knicks. It is San Antonio Behavioral Health is still open. San Antonio Behavioral
but
Health, Laurel Ridge, Methodist Specialty and Transplant, and the
that's
Baptist
just in
down.
San Antonio. We're talking about in general, like nationwide, like
So let me tell you what happened nationwide. Let's go back and do a little history lesson.
Mm.
So back in the 60s, they passed the deinstitutionalization of mental health asylums.
yep,
That's what
I
happened.
remember that.
They passed that. Well, what happened is there was supposed to be two parts of that bill. One was to deinstitutionalize, the other was to fund community mental health. They deinstitutionalized, they never funded mental health, community mental health.
Mm.
Oh, wow.
So the second half of the bill never got passed.
Mm.
Wow.
So
Well,
that is why mental health is in such a shit show.
Mm.
Wow. So to
Interesting.
go
So
back
if
to that question before because we didn't veered off. Daryl, your question about asking what would you tell somebody that's younger about
yeah,
mental health. Neil, can you give your perspective on that?
Sure. Thank you, by the way, for asking me that. Um, and it's so important that young people be very mindful of the crew that they roll with. It is so important that they're mindful of that. And you can look on any social media platform and see like any type of motivational speaker, and a lot of them will say this statement. They'll say, "I can see your future by the people that you hang out with."
Ooh.
I can, and it's like, whoa, and that's honest. Now, as a 24-year-old young man or young woman, um, you have a lot of potential, you have a lot of greatness on the inside of you. And the question is, how do I know that the next 24-year-old has a lot of potential, has a lot of greatness? How would I know that? I go back to the thing that I mentioned before, and it's a super duper fancy scientific word, symbiosis. And all it is that two organisms exchanging good things for one another so that the two things can be healthy. Here's how you know if you have a friend that's more symbiotic than a leech. When you succeed, when that friend hates on you, they're a leech. When you succeed and that friend cheers for you and encourages you to go further, you got symbiosis. Done. And I've seen young people accept being hated upon. It's like, oh, they hate on me. That must mean I'm doing my thing. They post them on their social media. If they hating on you, that means you're doing your thing. BS. Rid yourself of the hate. It is not evidence of anything but them being a hater. When they rejoice with you, when they cheer you on and they want to see you go further, that's a symbiotic relationship. And those have to be cultivated.
Yes.
Full stop.
Definitely.
Right there. That's my 2 cents.
Nika?
Well, it's harder. I feel like when you're younger and you're under somebody else's roof, so you really can't do what you need to do to make yourself healthy.
Yeah.
So when it comes to when you under the age of 18, I have no advice because it was like I dealt with that. I was under somebody else's roof, so I didn't feel like I had what I needed to come from up under what I was feeling. Even as I got older, I hit 18, 19, now I'm grown. I'm like, I could do what I want to do now. But it was still those people telling me what I needed to do and how I needed to do it. So I still couldn't come up under it. Once I got to a certain point, it's like, you know what? No. I'm about to start living for me, doing what makes me happy, cutting out any and everything that stresses me mentally. At that point, when I started saying, no, I can't do that. No, I won't be able to. And removing the people from my life that was stressing me out and making me have these anxiety and the depression, I started feeling better. I started feeling a lot better.
No, it's not a bad word.
It's not. And sometimes we have to learn how to say no sooner than later. Because had I started saying no when I was of age to start legally doing my own thing, I think I would have been in a much better place. Because I could have started living for me and not under this cloud that was keeping me depressed. So,
wow.
That's
So
right.
you said, oh, I'm sorry.
And that's very real. And my response to that is kind of coincides with you and Francine. When you are, I'll say, younger than 30, when you tend to voice how you're feeling, if you feel like you're depressed, if you're having crying spells, if you're having anxiety, there's a point when you shouldn't listen to your parents. Because many parents are still in the mindset of what happens in the house needs to stay in the house. We don't do mental health. We don't do therapy. We don't do counselors. They'll be that negative force to keep you from going there, or they instill fear in you to not go and seek the proper help and treatment. So there is a point when it is definitely okay not to listen to your parents, your grandparents, whoever, because even after you've hit that age over 18, you are grown. Do for you, because when they're gone, you standing by yourself, and then what? You're in this hole, and you're trying to dig yourself out, and you can't dig yourself out. Do not be ashamed to seek mental counseling, therapy. If you have to go on medication, be okay with that, because if the head ain't right, the body ain't right.
The head is part of the body.
Yeah.
It is
So,
the head.
and also, I'm gonna add on to that too. Like, don't just. I agree with everything you guys are saying about, like, you got to take care of yourself and stuff like that, especially when you're on somebody else's roof. but also how to help alleviate, or I shouldn't even say alleviate, to help the situation. How about educate the older folks? Like, hey, I understand what you were saying about going to church and all this stuff and blah 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 blah, but this is what I learned, and help them understand what you're going through, how to help you get through what you're going through, and how it could be possibly linked to them. And that last part is a hard pill to swallow, because parents don't want to be a burden on their child, but they don't understand that they are.
Yeah.
What you
Yes,
mean by that?
sometimes that fear is that parents' unresolved trauma.
Yep, yeah, that too.
Ooh,
What you say, Neil?
What you mean by you say? Can you repeat that last line? That parents don't they're a burden. How so?
There, so like she just said, like Francine just said, some of the unresolved trauma, or the way they were raised,
The
is how
parents,
they're trying to,
part of the kids' problem is the parents' unresolved trauma.
right, and how they were raised to deal with stuff is how they're trying to raise you as a child. And everybody knows times change. You can't raise, and you can have two kids within a year and still raise them different.
yes.
Yeah.
So you can't use how you were raised to raise your child.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of parents do. And when their child is experiencing stuff that they don't understand, they're like, oh, they're just acting out, versus trying to get to the root of the problem.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's that's a whole nother episode right there, bro. Because
Oh,
because
trust me, it's coming.
huh?
I said, trust me, it's coming.
Well,
And that's what I was
I'll admit
saying.
that I'm a product. I'll admit that I am a product of that. I'm a product of parents. Well, I'm a product of parents not raising an emotionally intelligent kid. So I'll
Yeah.
admit on this platform right now that on an emotionally intelligent level, I am probably 4 or 5 years old, but I'm 48 years old physically.
Yeah. I'm right there with you, and I'm learning. And like, it's crazy. I'm having conversations with my mother about communication and why we don't say stuff, and I'm just like, hold on, I'm 40 plus, and like, and I had to really sit down and think about shit like that. Like,
that's real.
How did we get here? Yeah.
That's right. Well, and like, you know, I'll just put it out there, like my wife and I are in therapy right now, because the problem is, and this is just me self-reflecting, realizing some things, that when I grew up, I learned that my feelings didn't matter. So therefore, I never expressed them.
Yes.
So when I was hurt, I didn't express my hurt because my feelings didn't matter.
Yeah.
So when I got married and my wife hurt me, I never told her she hurt me because I was under this mental lie that my feelings didn't matter. And so what happened was, instead of expressing myself here, I was emoting and expressing myself non-verbally, rolling my eyes and sucking my teeth. And my wife's like, why did you do that? And instead of expressing to her that I was hurt, I emoted. And so we're in therapy now. I'm 22 years in the game. And we're in therapy now because I am a horrible communicator when it comes to expressing my feelings, because I just learned that my feelings didn't matter. And like you said, my mother and my father never sat me down to teach me how to express myself when I'm hurt. So now that I know this about me, I'm intentional. Baby boy, that's my youngest. I have a 5-year-old. Son, how do you feel? What's wrong with you? Did I hurt you? I want him to be able to express his feelings so he doesn't grow up to be a husband like me. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah. So, and it is, you know, and I love my mama. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to mom, Audrey Biddick. What's up? But that's just honest. She never taught me how to express myself And when I tried to express a hurt feeling, it was, oh, you'll be all right.
And chances,
Or the other one, don't cry or I'll give you a reason to.
and chances are she wasn't taught how to express her feelings.
Absolutely, Miss Francine.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
The trauma, that's what I just said. The trauma that was inflicted upon you is passed on. It's generational. And that's how we get these generational curses. And so we grew up and we're growing up to say, hey, wait a minute, we need to heal this up. We want to go to therapy. We want to be better so that we don't pass this on to our kids. And our parents is like, what is wrong with these kids? Like, and so our parents are like, what goes on this house stays in this house. And it's because they haven't dealt with their trauma.
Yeah.
That's real.
I think another thing we need to stop doing is telling people what they need to be grateful for. That's another thing that is like, stop telling people that you got this, you got that, you need to be grateful because I didn't have. Okay, well, things were different back then. It's different now. We're not dealing with the same stuff, or y'all weren't dealing with the stuff we dealing with today. So stop telling them you need to be grateful or you have a lot to be thankful for in certain contexts, because it's like, that's not right. So now you making them feel guilty for the way they feel, adding more stress on top of what they already going through. That ain't cool. We got to stop doing that too.
Yeah. And
As,
that goes
as,
into
as if gratitude is supposed to be the healing agent to the fact that you crushed my soul. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for crushing my soul.
Yes.
But that's part of that trauma.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You need to be thankful you got that job paying $13 an hour, because when I was younger, it was only $4. The fuck, do you not know what bills cost these days? Yes, I'm stressed. They don't think about that. Because what it was back then. Yeah, and your house didn't cost that much back then. Come on, calm down. But I digress.
Yeah. And the other thing I just heard you say was stress. People don't understand when you literally say stress will kill you.
It literally will.
Stress will take you up out of here almost faster than anything else. And
that's real.
People that cause you stress, those are people that need to be removed from your life, because you should be trying to find as much peace in your life. Granted, we can't control what happens from day to day. We can control how we respond to it, how we react to it. But you have to find a way to de-stress, because stress triggers the depression, the anxiety, the insomnia. It triggers so much. It's bigger than a lot of people think it is. So you really have to come to a place to be less stressful. Find the stressful environment. Like, one of my things I do, baby, I'm an incense whore now. Baby, I would like me some incense so fast to change my mood and mindset, to get those things that what is considered grounding, which is using those 5 senses, like to try to just be in a right mind frame, because you gotta push that out. Like that is very much me, because I'm just in a different place. I am in a place of healing relationships, myself, from childhood trauma during life period. So in doing that, it's some steps and some procedures that you got to do. But healing is so important because it triggers mental health. It will put you in a place. It was a group I'm in, and this lady said, she gave this other lady an applause, and she said, 5 days and you haven't taken a shower. It was a round of applause, because some people don't understand depression can get that deep to the point you can't get out of bed.
Yeah.
Like you just can't. It ain't like you just can't get.
Well, it's not just can't, you just don't want to. Like you gotta.
No, it's literally can't.
Mm,
Not don't want to, it's can't.
Yeah.
mm.
It's can't. That's if you look at the show Hoarders, that is a level of depression,
Oh yeah,
Ooh.
yeah, yeah.
Ooh.
loss, grief.
Yes.
That's a mental illness that's in the DSM-5.
Yes.
And all the DS. Well, I'm gonna shut up. Never mind. Okay.
Okay, some of it because they got extreme bedwetting in the DSM-5.
I was just saying, it's just that's the line pockets.
A
Okay.
lot of it is, but some of it is relevant.
Y'all
So the
can't
Some
be
of
DS.
it
saying
is.
that stuff and we don't know what it is.
That's
Explain
what
what
I'm
it
about to
is
say.
y'all
DS
talking
It's
about
the
right now.
5 is
Just hint.
it's the diagnostical statistical manual. It's the 5th version. It is what is used to it's the criteria used to diagnose mental illness.
Okay.
yes.
All right.
It's
Bottom
a
line,
book.
it's the
Okay.
mental health Bible. That's what it is.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I got a question
Sorry.
though. Something that
Yes.
Miss T said. She said that, you know, when she was talking about stress, she said you got to rid yourself of the people that bring you that stress. So my question is, what if you're married to the person that brings you stress?
Then sound
Mm,
like you gotta get rid of them too.
mm.
Well,
Divorce,
I
10
mean,
years.
say what now? What you get, Francine?
Divorce, 10 years.
Oh, you
Okay.
said divorce 10 years. I thought you were throwing up the rock sign. I was like, damn. She did a Jay-Z around this motherfucker. The
Yeah,
black
okay.
album.
It's an inside joke with T.
Now you
Okay,
know
okay.
So,
it's
everybody
funny.
here is on
Sorry.
everybody here has a consensus that if you're married to someone that brings you stress, then you should divorce them. Is that what I hear?
So
I will say
no.
this.
Let me further elaborate. Sorry.
Yeah.
Let me further elaborate. So let me clarify stress. So stress is the day-to-day living. What we often call stress is not stress. What we know as stress is distress. So we call distress stress. So as far as marriage, um, when you are married, if the two people in the relationship both have look at it as a boxing ring. If they both in the ring and they still willing to fight, then
Mm,
you stay in that ring and you fight.
yeah. And I was
Okay.
No,
yeah.
you talking about like symbolically, not like really fighting, right?
Yes, Daryl. He
Okay,
nodded his
I'm
head,
just
he
checking.
got it. You went somewhere else.
I'm just
Well,
checking.
no,
No, because you gotta say that. You gotta know.
you
You
got
gotta
to
ask
say
Okay.
some
it.
questions.
Oh.
If you are willing to fight for the marriage, y'all willing to go to counseling, y'all
Yeah.
willing to communicate,
Yeah.
know your love language, know each other's love language.
Yes.
Okay, work on that. You gotta have your time, she gotta have her time, y'all gotta have each other time, y'all gotta have time for the kids. It is your second full-time job.
Yeah.
Okay, it is work.
Yes.
So y'all have to be willing to be fully committed and working on this relationship.
See,
Definitely.
but you're giving all these qualifying statements, which I appreciate. But initially, y'all were like, hey, she's stressy, flip the deuces.
And I
And
was being comical. I was being
No,
comical.
we being comical.
Yeah, because that like
Marriage can
deuces,
be stressful. It
it
is
can.
hard work.
Relationships can be stressful.
well,
Relationships,
but
all
that's
the
what I'm
relationships.
saying. Like, that's what I was getting at. Like, because like if we want to just keep it all the way real, I wouldn't be married today if I was just to get rid of the person that caused me stress. Like,
Shit, I've been
Exactly.
about.
Tiffany, shoot, that's my wife, by the way. Shout out to my wife, Tiffany, most beautiful black woman I've ever laid my eyes on. Thank you very much.
You trying not to be on the couch tonight, huh?
Hey, no, I'm good. You know what I'm saying? I'm straight. That's my bed. You know what I'm saying? That's my
Oh,
but but like Tiffany, we stress each other. And it's not like we're purposely stressing each other, but we
but
do that,
that's part of
you know?
that's relationships dynamics. That
No,
happens.
but I think, you guys, your platform is World Wide Web, and I think that you have to give those qualifying statements because even
No,
some
I
of our
don't have to give
friends.
those qualified statements. Those are real statements. There are
Well,
ebbs
I'm
and
talking about like
flows in
if a person in your
relationships.
relationship stresses you out, you don't just want to get rid of them.
True.
No, you don't just get rid
like,
of them.
yeah. But so
But those,
and I'm just saying I want to put that out there because like
Yeah,
I
because
have
some
friends,
people will take it literally.
yeah, I have friends
but
that
there
stress
are
me out.
ebbs and flows in relationships. And
Yes.
sometimes people will stress you out in a relationship. My
Yes.
girlfriend, sometimes she gets on my nerves.
Yes.
That's
Well, that's easy.
that's
That's easy to
that's a
do for you.
relationship. Hey, that is
Somebody
very
look at
true.
you too long, you about to snap.
Hey,
You saw she put up the gang sign, right? Are you
I
blonde
know.
or
I
pretty?
know.
You a
That's
blonde or
hey,
fine.
pretty, Francine? Which
that
one are
is,
you?
but that is relationships for real.
Hmm.
You have to learn how to communicate.
Yes.
Communication is the most important thing in a relationship.
Yeah.
And that's where, and I'll be honest with you, that's where I've been the weakest. And I'm not trying to go
But
off
you
into a
were
negative sense,
communicating.
but
You were
that's where I've
just
been the
doing it
weakest
through
in
your
my
body
marriage.
language, and it
See what?
was not a positive communication.
Yeah,
You were communicating because 60% of our communication comes from body language.
yeah, I feel you. And I'm sorry, I wasn't trying to take us off on another tangent, but I
Oh,
just
no,
wanted to
you're
put that out
good.
there.
No, no, no.
But you were right because granted, relationships, marriages, relationships with family, friends can be stressful, but you have to know your limit. If that person can take you from here to out of this world and it's starting to be damaging to you, then you do need to cut it. You need to remove
Exactly.
yourself from the situation. If that person is going to be with you to help you fix it and to grow with you and be on that team to better, then yeah, you do need to, they gotta go. Because some marriages,
Yeah,
some people stay in marriages that are more harm than it is good. And it's
Thank you.
for financial, for the kids, because
longevity.
have nobody else.
Hmm.
Just because I want to prove my family wrong.
That part.
Longevity. Oh, because it's familiar, it's comfortable.
Yes. Yeah.
We together just because we toxic and we know each other's toxic behaviors.
There you go.
Yes. And you need to know the difference. So yeah, T, you beat me
And
to it because I was over
wait.
here ready to just get in. Because I'm like, no, I'm not. You have to know the difference of
Yes.
when it's like the shit we go through and we grow through versus shit that's putting you in another headspace. I'm
Exactly.
I'm not married, but I'm like, I would walk the hell away if I'm getting to a point mentally where I cannot function and it's putting me to a whole nother level. My mental health is worth more.
Yeah.
So I'd be like,
Exactly.
I'm sorry, I'm going to cut you off. And
Yeah.
it may not be the end all, but for right now, a temporary removal of myself from the situation may be best for us both because I don't want to have to we don't want to be up in here throwing hands because now I'm angry, I'm upset because I'm stressed out, I'm mad,
That
I'm
part.
going through shit. Now I didn't build all this up because I'm impulsive, and now all of a sudden I'm blowing up, exploding on everybody, and now
That
I'm a
part.
hazard.
Yeah.
Your
I would
home
say this.
should be your sanctuary. If I
Yes.
Yes,
walk in my house and I don't feel peace, something
Hmm.
ain't right. Something got to
yes.
So
change.
okay.
You gotta have
Okay,
some
y'all
peace.
But a
saying
lot of
all
people don't have that peace in the house.
Yeah.
Something got
saying
to
all
change
this
in my
nice and
house.
cute. Y'all
Yeah.
saying all this nice and
Girl,
cute
you
stuff
breaking up.
about having. Y'all can hear me?
You're
You
breaking.
breaking
No,
up.
Mic check.
tell them to stop listening to you.
Yeah. So, and I'll say this as well. Somebody in the comments made a comment and said, people sometimes stay because of hope. I hope this and I hope that. I hope it'll get better. I hope we'll do this. So people stay for different reasons. I
Hmm.
myself can tell you that I was in a relationship. And when I got to that point where I felt like I wanted to suffocate him in his sleep, I knew it was time to go. And part of
But
that was because this was in kind of the beginning of my mental health. And I could bring home, like when y'all was talking about the elders, educate them. When I was trying to educate him, I'm bringing him pamphlets, I'm bringing him this, I'm trying to discuss with him my feelings. He gave me his back. He wasn't trying to be part of the plan to help. And when you're in a situation where somebody knows they doing that red button that's got in the big neon colorful rhinestone light, and it say don't touch, and they doing this, and every time they doing this, they hitting it just a little more. Dude, it's time to go.
Yep.
Okay. Y'all hit on a lot. I'm gonna hit on. Let me talk about that first. So this is just my thoughts. Well, no, this is just a statement. Maybe that's how he was raised to express his feelings. Because again, we just said it earlier. Everybody's taught how to feel or how to do things through our parents. Maybe that's what he saw through his parents. So that's probably how he may really, really love you, like to the end of the earth. But that's how he expressed it versus the way you thought he should express it.
And that's fine. But all in the end, it didn't work for me.
And then my second thing is, and well, we're not even gonna talk about. We'll talk about relationships later. My second thing is, just overall, sometimes it's like they said, sometimes people stay because of hope, and that's why folks are still here when they deal with depression. When they deal, okay, I'm gonna use myself for example. I'm gonna since Neil done opened up the door.
I didn't mean to. I swear, I promise. I didn't mean to.
So I want to say about a few years back, I was suicidal. Like when I was in San Antonio, I was suicidal. Like seriously, like it'd be times I'll sit on the bed with my gun in my hand. So, and the only thing that kept me from pulling the trigger is I'll say maybe tomorrow will be better.
That's
and
good.
For whatever reason, tomorrow was always better. So that word hope keeps a lot of us here.
That's real.
So, yeah.
And I'm because y'all are, y'all are like really hitting some areas there. Like since we putting this out there in the atmosphere, you know what I'm saying? Like I was your Miss T. I don't know if you were married to the gentleman or if you were as just a boyfriend, but that was me. Correction. That is me. When my wife would express her feelings, frustration towards me, anger towards me, I turned my back because, like Duriel said, I was not taught how to handle or how to respond to her hurts that I even may have caused.
Yeah.
I wasn't taught how to. That's why I said in the very beginning, I may be 48, but on the emotionally intelligent side, I'm only 5, maybe 4.
Yeah.
I am currently in a process of trying to learn how to respond appropriately to a very powerful, strong, emotional, intelligent Black woman, my wife. And the reason why she is still here, she just told me this yesterday, is because she is hoping that it gets better. And guess what? I want to do my part to make it better. I want to do my part. Now, someone may ask this, well, Neil, damn, are you all about to get a divorce? Well, no. But my wife has admitted to me that she has started a plan B. And I'm going to tell you right now, that's some hard shit for your ass.
Man.
To be like, you're actually planning something? So I can either be like, okay, bump her. Or I can be like, yo, I need to change up because I don't want to lose my marriage. I love that woman. You know what I'm saying? I like, I don't want to lose that. So I Duriel, I appreciate your transparency there. Yes, I'm telling y'all, hope is a real thing. Now, here's where hope can be dangerous, because I'm not going to advocate ever for somebody to stay in a relationship where they're in a domestic violence. I'm hoping that they stop hitting me. Nah,
Mhm.
player, you need to roll. You know what I'm saying? So there is a balance to what we're talking about. And I'm sure Miss Francine can co-sign that, being a therapist on the chat, I mean, in the broadcast. But having said all that, like, it's important, it's important to know that, like, there's relationships out there where the only thing that's holding them together is hope. And that's not a bad thing. You know what I'm saying? It's not a bad thing. It can get ugly though, and like I said, I'm not gonna hope that they stop hitting me, or hope that they, maybe there's drug abuse. I'm hoping they stop. Nah, they need to get some type of professional intervention. You know what I'm saying? So, that's just kind of my 2 cents, and I put myself out there. I'm not looking for applause or pity, for even that matter. But it's always good when people watch things like this, that they know they're not by themselves. They're not the only
Exactly.
one dealing with a certain issue, which is why I appreciate what you said, Duriel, because it would not shock me to know that at some point in time in the future, you all get a comment that says, you know what, dude, I was feeling the exact same way. I so appreciate you saying that. And the dude might be watching right now with the gun in hand. You know what I'm saying? It's so important. It's so important to have those conversations like that.
Very much important. And
We deal.
go ahead.
Go ahead. I was going to address what Duro said. We deal with suicide a lot, and if y'all watch the news, I don't watch the news. I stopped watching the news years ago. So suicide it's bad for my mental health. The news is. Um, so suicide in the county jail is on the news all the time. So we deal with suicide a lot in my job. I deal with suicide, people that are suicidal day in, day out. We have 88 people right now on suicide precautions in the jail. It has gotten particularly worse right now during COVID, because people are not mentally prepared to be locked up in the cell for 22, 23 hours a day.
Right.
Basically, the jail is one large solitary confinement, because that's the only way they can contain people during COVID. Jails are large numbers of people that congregate, and you cannot socially distance in jail. There is absolutely no way to socially distance in jail. So people are basically locked up in their cell for 22, 23 hours a day. Um, so when you come into jail after you're booked, if you don't get released immediately on bond, you go to a quarantine isolation unit from anywhere from 5 to 14 days. We have had people are not mentally prepared for that. And so we've had quite a few suicides from there, and people have attempted more than once. So we deal with suicide. I deal with suicide day in, day out. So what you were saying, hope is a big thing. So when we were discussing hoping somebody changes in a relationship, is different from the type of hope you were talking about in those instances. Because in those types of toxic relationships, it's it's a toxic hope, and not somebody it's a toxic hope. So they already know that person, they've already seen those behaviors, and they know that person is not going to change. So they're looking at the toxic behavior and hoping that toxic behavior is going to change. And that behavior has shown time and time again that it's not. So somebody that is suicidal and being hopeful is very different. Your instance in your relationship, Neil, your wife being hopeful is different. That's a whole different situation. So
Understood what you're saying.
in the instance of suicide, suicide, there are suicidal thoughts. People have suicidal thoughts very often, very all the time. And then there is the action of suicide, which is the actual attempt of trying to take your life. And I
Right.
had to make this distinction, but not everybody knows that distinction.
Mhm.
Right.
Okay.
That's another thing
Um,
too.
yes, because we I had an 18-year-old that was booked for murder last night that I had to talk to. So and I often go, they're flagged with mental health assessment. And I don't see you a lot of times unless you're flagged or something that's going on. I don't know people's charges until after I've met with them. And then I go look their charges up in the system because it's part of my assessment. She said, "Well, do you know my charge?" I said, "No, I don't look that up until after I meet with you because I don't go and meet somebody jaded. When I go and meet with you, I go and meet with you. So whatever your charge is, I don't know. I don't really care what your charge is. I need to know, do you have a mental health history? What medications are you on? Are you on medications? Are you suicidal? Are you not suicidal? That's the information that I need from you. So I need to know, if do you need to see the doctor? Do you not need to see the doctor? And how soon? What you there for? That really doesn't matter to me unless it's gonna affect that some kind of way. So one of the questions we ask is, if you've ever committed suicide, how many times and when was the last time? And if you've ever committed suicide while incarcerated, because that plays a huge effect. Um, One of the questions we ask is, so they'll say, "Oh yeah, I've tried to commit suicide 8 times. When was the last time?" "Oh, 6 weeks ago." "What did you do?" "I didn't actually try to do it. I just thought about doing it." So then we have to have that conversation of actual attempts and just having the thoughts. So it's just having that education
Right.
on
And that
suicidal
Yeah, that's
um,
real. That's real.
with people. And so there's a lot of suicide, but what I see is a lot of the suicidal ideations we are getting is people that are on methamphetamine.
Yeah,
mm,
that doesn't surprise me. That doesn't surprise me at all, especially in that kind in that type of system. You know.
It surprises me because we're in San Antonio.
Yeah.
And San Antonio is that I've lived here for a very long time. And so this is new to methamphetamines in San Antonio is relatively new.
Oh, okay.
Methamphetamines has historically been a rural white person's drug. If you don't know the demographics of San Antonio is about 50 to 52% Hispanic.
Oh wow. Oh yeah, I knew that. I used to live in San Antonio. Um.
Okay.
Yeah.
So methamphetamines are huge here now.
Yeah.
If I do 10 assessments a night, probably 5 to 6 of them are on methamphetamines.
mm.
Um.
So
Can
let
I
me
ask a question? What is
go
this
ahead.
notification I have at the bottom of my thing? It says one. Am I supposed to do something?
No, that's
Okay.
just
So
folks comment.
okay. Just oh okay.
Hold on,
My bad.
you're breaking up now. Go ahead,
You said
Derek.
I'm breaking up.
Yeah, you're breaking up.
Oh, that might be
Derek,
you,
you had a
Francine, because you're
question?
breaking up. So how?
Oh, I'm breaking up?
Yeah, like you doing the
Okay.
Matrix right now.
Yeah.
So
We
when
both
it
did.
comes to
Oh,
to mental health, how does drug and alcohol intake contribute?
Okay.
Clar- clarify the question.
All right. When it comes to mental health, how does like the intake of drugs and alcohol contribute to the mental health?
Oh man. Here we go.
It can contribute in many ways. So you have you can have alcohol can cause delirium, substances can mimic mental health symptoms. So you can have a lot of psychotic a lot of psychotic symptoms can mimic schizophrenia. A lot of substances, particularly meth and synthetic drugs, can mimic schizophrenia. So they have to rule out those substance-induced disorders to see if a person really has schizophrenia, or they may have both.
Okay, so one thing we said on the other podcast is on mental health. We were talking about how people tend to self-medicate when it comes to stuff like that. How people you run to drugs and alcohol to get through or get over or however you want to put it, um their situation, the depression or isolation or whatever. And I also know that too, people tend to use other outlets, i.e. gambling, sex, etc., etc., etc. So if an
Those
individual,
dopamine highs,
huh?
those dopamine highs.
Boy, I was waiting on you to hit it. So please explain the what you just said.
So dopamine,
What you just
so dopamine is a chemical that we release from our brain. So it's the feel good hormone that our brain releases. So you can get it from doing many different things. But it's our natural feel good hormone. So sex, gambling, shopping, gaming.
sex.
Um, I already said sex, but we can
Oh,
say it
my
again.
bad. My bad. I was
But
at a
Said
we
it
twice.
twice.
I mean,
we
You
see
said
where
so nice. We got to
everybody's
say it
mind is
twice.
at.
My bad. You know, I'm just
um, it's
dopamine is just
also,
it's a fantastic subject. I'm sorry. Forgive me, please.
sir, you really speak to the wrong person, but okay, you don't get me off on that tangent. Anyway, so those those things people do is really a natural antidepressant that we have. You get it when you do runner's high, you get it when you're working out, lifting weights, all of that. That releases dopamine. Your body naturally releases dopamine. Okay. As far as self-medicating, I want to put this caveat out there. With the exception of some marijuanas using to treat some anxiety and depression for self-medicating, most substance abuse, oh, and psilocybin, which is mushrooms, which has, if using with the right person, a real professional, has been proven to cure depression. That's not self-medicating. That is with a professional. Has been using to proven to cure depression, not just going out and doing mushrooms. Okay. Okay. Most self-medicating that people say that they're doing is not self-medicating.
Mm. Say that
Almost
again one more time.
all
Wait. Say that one more time.
Most self-medicating is not self-medicating. Almost all substance abuse, what I have found in my years of experience of working with the various populations I have worked with, and I have worked with the homeless, people at risk of being homeless, inpatient mental health, and in the jail. I have years of experience. Trauma is our gateway drug. And I keep saying trauma, and I'm going to say it until your ears fall off. Trauma. People have experienced a trauma that is so deep they don't want to feel it.
Mm.
And so they medicate to numb
Mm.
that trauma. And
Mm.
every time that trauma comes up, they continue to medicate it. And that
Mm.
is how they get hooked on substances. Now,
Mm.
whatever that trauma is, they can go to rehab, they can do AA, they can do NA. Until they identify that trauma and
That's real.
heal it, they will continue to use substances of some sort.
That's real.
Now, they may be free of alcohol, they may be free of drugs, but let me tell you, they will trade one addiction for another.
That's real.
It
Yep.
may be shopping, it may be NA, it may be religion. They are just trading one addiction for the other.
So
Mm.
what I'm getting from you is they're doing all of that stuff to hide from the trauma versus
Not
facing the
hide,
trauma.
numb.
No, yeah, to numb themselves from the trauma versus facing the trauma.
Right. Because they haven't, they're wounded.
Hmm.
Interesting. Interesting.
I talk to people almost every day and they come in hot. All the time. And I tell them people, I'll be like, I have never met you before. And when I say they come in on a laundry list of drugs, I call it the whole bag of Skittles. Because they took every last one of them.
Wow. Wow. Wow.
Okay. And so I tell them, I've never met you before.
Wait, is Tacky over there smoking weed?
I was about to say the same thing.
Oh, I was about to say, dang, we went that deep on you?
Didn't I
I
say
don't,
you have an incense whore?
Clear
don't
that air,
judge.
girl. Clear the air.
I
I was
don't
just saying.
judge. I gotta sage myself before
Put
I
it to
go to
script.
work.
See, thank you. Tell him if it's real.
And I
Hey, what
keep
time you?
the
Look,
ashes in my work bag.
You got what?
I got the sage. They won't let me sage the office. I got the ashes in my work bag.
Oh my gosh. That
Nah, we
was
gotta
that
do
was
it.
like so timely. Just like to see that smoke come up through your joint. Like what?
Baby, I am real everywhere I go. And let me tell you, they get because this girl is having a whole adult temper tantrum and she, okay. So
So,
anyway,
Francine, what time you got to start your process to get ready for work?
I've
Yeah.
already started my process to get ready. They know I'm
Okay.
gonna be late. Don't worry about it. We good.
damn.
She got this.
She said she showed up when
I
she get
show
there.
up, and
But
lucky
you
I'm
know,
showing
notice
up.
how the conversation goes full circle back to trauma. You know
Yep.
what I'm saying?
What did I say? We are suffering from
Yep.
undiagnosed PTSD,
Yeah.
It's a seed.
and
See,
that's
I'm
what.
glad you said that because I said that too. And folks looked at me like I had a dick on my forehead.
Yeah.
I said black people are suffering from undiagnosed trauma. And I said, think about it.
Undiagnosed PTSD. We
Yeah.
What
are.
other ethnicity you can watch? Sit there and watch TV. The
You
local
going in
news.
and out.
Can you? All right. I said, what other ethnicity that you know of can sit there and watch the local news and you see timeless like murders of somebody who looked like you over and over and over again?
Mm.
I see. I don't do it. And here's another thing that black people do. Let me tell you how deep our trauma go. We got this whole trauma bonding thing going on. Somebody get killed, we come together, we sing kumbaya. We want to pray for the motherfuckers that killed us.
Yep.
Fuck them. If you kill one of me and mine, there will be no thoughts and prayers needed.
She said, wow.
And but I'm glad you said that. I'm finna hit on that too. When you said
That's trauma bonding. That trauma
trauma
bonding is so deeply enrooted in us from slavery.
yeah, because it's
You know
like
why I keep going back to that? Because what did I say? You cannot heal what you will not address.
Yeah, that's real.
mm,
That's real.
And we ain't really addressed slavery. We acknowledged it. We acknowledged it. They didn't acknowledge it. We do. And
Uh-oh.
some of us don't even do that.
Uh-oh. All right, now, Francine. They're going to be knocking at your door. Then
Yeah.
Tell them to come. Tell them to come.
them dudes, the
Yeah.
dudes in the black suits going to be talking about, can you come with us, please?
Yeah.
Child, I live in the
Ooh.
hood still. They ain't come knock on my door.
Don't get her started. Don't get her started. Lord,
But nah,
don't.
no,
Okay.
she hit on something because like it's something that always used to frustrate the fuck out of me when it comes to like my community and where I grew up at. Motherfuckers will throw a block party for somebody getting out of jail or on parole or some shit like that, but won't say shit for the kid that's graduating and going going to college or graduating from college. I'm like
But you
that's
know who used to do that in my community? The drug dealers used to send the kids to college.
man, who girl stop, because I just had a conversation about that and other people were
But
looking at me
nowadays,
like,
these
what are you
drug
talking about?
dealers, they ain't even got drugs.
That man, I was just talking about that. I said, because I was saying that the game is not loyal no more.
Everybody want to be the plug. Everybody can't
Yeah,
be the plug.
exactly.
Everybody can't be El Chapo. If everybody El
Exactly.
Chapo,
Wow.
Exactly. All right,
who the
we
foot
get
soldiers?
we
Okay,
getting
anyway,
off stuff. Yeah,
back
yeah,
to
yeah.
substance abuse. So the problem here lies with substance abuse and has been the issue with substance abuse. It was initially as you don't need the treatment was self-help, AAMA. It wasn't looked at as a physical or a medical issue,
Yeah.
even though we know it affects you physically. And
Yeah.
now it's looked at more as a mental disease. I'm sorry, I'm mental health. I can't do nothing with what it do to their brain.
Yeah. That's real.
Physically does to the brain. We can address some of the behaviors, but it changes the physical neuron paths in the brain.
Mhm.
Stop
Yeah.
disconnecting the body, the head from the body.
Yeah.
Taki, you're on mute. Okay, you're on mute.
I was just
She muted herself again.
So you can't do that.
yeah.
Like, and so working in mental health, when I went and started working in the inpatient in the hospital, so much of mental health depends on medical. I'm not trained in medical. I have to depend on nurses. You don't know how dumb a nurse can be until you deal with a mental health nurse.
Girl, you better say that again.
Okay? I said to their face,
You better say it again.
I,
I look
I,
at
I,
oh,
true story. I am worker. I had a mental health nurse that was in crisis, RN, in crisis, palpable, sweating, tongue, couldn't talk. The LVN, the RN was in crisis. The LVN came and got me. I'm the fucking social worker. They said, Deborah not doing too good. Can you come check on her? You got a whole fucking nurse in there. I'm the one that had to call 911.
Wow.
So the nurses, by the time the nurses supervisor got up there, I mean, her blood pressure was through the roof. It was 230 something over 180 something.
That's crazy.
yeah, she was almost out of there.
I called 911. I called 911 so many times at the mix.
So then that goes back to something we said earlier. Oh, that goes back to something we said earlier about how part of the problem is there's not enough knowledge or resources out there to deal with mental health. Because if you got somebody who's supposed to be a mental health nurse, can't deal with somebody who having a mental health episode, then what the fuck you gonna do when somebody's coming in trying to talk about
Hold on.
trauma?
Duriel, you're going in and out really bad, but I think what you asked was how you gonna have somebody who's supposed to be a mental health resource that don't know exactly how to handle a mental health situation. Is that what you said?
Yes.
Yeah, and I think I don't know about y'all, but I used to work with Duriel. We had that all the time. And my first thought was like, damn, didn't you go to school for 12 years to get your PhD or whatever the hell you said? You don't know what to do here. So, and it's sad. It really is sad that and I'm not an LVN, but you talk about a person who has lower credentials than an RN. Like I had the lowest of the credentials, and I'm like, look, this is what we're gonna do. And the PhD, like, oh yeah, that's a good idea, Sergeant Moore.
Right. Can y'all hear me now?
Huh?
Can y'all hear me better now?
Yeah, you good now, man.
So
Korean microphone. That's what happened.
I have decided that I am going to go back to school for my BSN.
Good for you.
That's what's up.
Good for you.
And I know that's something that you can do.
Okay, wait, pause. For the layman's out here, what's the BSN?
It's Bachelor of Nursing and Science.
Thank you. All right, carry on.
Because so much mental health depends on medical.
Yeah.
And I don't like depending on nobody to do my job.
That's good for you, Miss Francine. I wish you luck on that. That's good stuff.
And so I kept going back and forth. Did I want to go be a therapist? So after you get your LMSW, the options are to do the 2 years of supervision to get your LCSW and become a therapist. Well, I'm not a therapist. I don't want to do therapy. I ain't never wanted to do therapy. I knew I didn't want to do therapy when I became a social worker. I love social work. I love doing social work.
Okay. Pause.
And so
Again.
I am a hands-on, in the field, in the trenches social worker. I can go out to the homeless camps.
Pause again.
All of that.
Pause.
All right. So for us lay people out here again.
Okay, sorry. Okay.
Break it down. Social work, psychologist, psychiatrist, all that.
All right.
Okay. So a psychologist is more so a person that's gonna do assessments. They are talk therapy. They do more of your assessments, usually in a school model or something like that. A psychiatrist is mental health. They are there to prescribe meds. That is doctor. A psychiatrist usually has nurse practitioners, mental health nurse practitioners working up under them. That is usually somebody that has a master's degree, an advanced master's degree. I personally like nurse practitioners better than I like doctors. They are usually a nurse that has an advanced level you'll see NP a lot. They work up under a psychiatrist. They can do everything that a psychiatrist does except prescribe meds. Okay. LPC is a licensed professional counselor. LMFT is a licensed marriage and family therapist.
Yeah.
LCDC.
I'm sorry. I was gonna say the reason why I said I wanted you to break everything down is because if anybody's listening and they want to seek help, they'll know who they're dealing with. Because I think that's part of the issue. They don't understand the difference between social workers, psychologists, psychiatrists, and all the rest of that stuff. So they just see a whole bunch of letters and they're like, okay, I'm gonna go.
And they don't know.
Exactly. So if they could understand more of how they're different, in public school.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
LCDC is a licensed chemical dependency counselor. LPC is a licensed professional counselor. So a LMFT, a LPC, and those do counseling. Then in social work, you have a LMSW, a licensed master licensed master social worker. Then you have a LCSW, licensed clinical social worker, and you have a LMSW AP, a licensed master social worker, advanced practitioner.
Wow. Okay.
I know. A licensed master social worker may do some counseling working up under a licensed clinical social worker. A licensed master social worker, advanced practitioner may or may not be doing therapy. It just all depends. So usually if you are looking for a therapist, what you will usually see is a LMFT, a licensed marriage and family therapist, a LPC, licensed professional counselor, or LCSW, a licensed clinical social worker. They may have some other title, because we can take multiple licensing and stuff. I can go sit for my LCDC exam if I want to. All I got to do is just go sit for the test, and then voila, I'm an LCDC. I'll probably do that just because I like credentials behind my name. But then I got to keep up with the licensure and all of that. But if you are on medication or you need medication, you would then probably need to seek out a psychiatrist if it is a high level medication. For just anxiety and depression, that is something your primary care doctor can treat. A primary care doctor can only treat anxiety and depression. Anything other than that, they should be referring you out.
And
now
they will.
As far as diagnosing, I heard on the first podcast, as far as diagnosing, let me tell you this. Doctors are going to diagnose the symptoms they are presently witnessing, observing. Okay? This is how people end up with so many different diagnoses, because it is the symptoms that are present now. Unless that doctor follows you long term, they really don't have a very accurate diagnosis. And especially if you are young. Okay? Now, diagnosis don't change. Some mental illness does not manifest until your mid to late 20s. Schizophrenia does not manifest until the mid 20s.
Oh, wow. Wow.
Usually when a child is very young, they do not give high level diagnosis. They will say mood disorder. They will say conduct disorder. They will say adjustment disorder.
Okay.
That's a lot. That's a lot. So what we're gonna have to bring you back on so you can break that down. Honest style for more people, if we can.
It is a lot.
Right.
Yeah.
It's a lot. Diagnosis and stuff is a lot. Now, one thing I would say about medication, real quick about medication. Medication works. Here's the thing. You have to find what medication works for you. And you have to know how to use language with doctors, and don't just stop taking medication.
Yeah, you have to be compliant too.
And see, that's the reason. That's why I'm saying we need to have you on again to break this stuff down. Because
we can talk medication compliance. That's a whole different show.
Yes.
Yeah.
And folks don't understand that.
Because we know now from studies that certain medications don't work with African Americans.
Yes. Yes.
Particularly with depression medication.
Yes. Yes.
Wow.
And I learned that because one of my cousins, they gave him some medication that he really shouldn't have been on, and it's like we found out the hard way. Folks in basically, no one was there to ask the right questions.
Exactly.
So and act and like had to say the right things to get the doc to understand what he was doing and what he was going through. So that's a whole nother conversation in itself. That's a whole nother show in
And
itself.
abruptly stopping depression medication will cause suicidal ideation. It will cause suicidal thoughts. Do not do that.
Wow.
There is a weaning process.
Yes.
You said weaning or weenie?
Weaning. You
Weaning.
have to
We don't want to
wean-
talk about your weaning, girl.
Okay, I just
Like,
no,
your conversation just been all on sex tonight. You all right over there?
no, I'm saying that because I couldn't hear that. No, that was Neil. He the one kept bringing up sex. I just
I got you. So
you were breaking up when you said it.
being pharmacy technician working, you have to be weaned off medication,
Yes.
especially mental health medication. You just can't stop
Yes.
it. It causes
Yes.
more issues when you do that.
Yes. I had an issue. My daughter ran out of her medication, didn't tell me. This was a couple of weeks ago. She was in withdrawals. This just happened not even a month ago.
Wow. Is she okay?
I did not know.
Is she okay?
She's okay. She was just in and out of here a few minutes ago.
Oh wow.
My daughter is 20. I got a 20-year-old and a 22-year-old, and that means I'm still 25 for the record.
All right.
Don't be trying to do no math.
I don't. I'm not good at math, so I'm good.
Okay, use that Korean math he was using.
Yo, they just do that on you all night, bruh.
I'm used to it, man. I'm used to it.
It's all love.
Do you notice that your shirt has been a topic for like the last 3-4 episodes?
Because I fill out shirts. I'm grown. Like I'm a grown man. I fill out shirts.
Tell him, man. Tell him.
Yeah.
You got muscles.
I got
breasticles.
It's my chesticles.
You got chesticles. I got breasticles.
Oh Lord.
Oh, you know what?
Y'all didn't tell me the podcast was rated TVMA. You know what I'm saying? God.
Didn't I tell you about the nakedness? That meant that was already X-rated. So
You know,
That should have been
it kind of
Hey, I am clothed and sober.
Yes, you are. You are clothed. Yes, you are.
I said I would be.
People don't know how serious you mean when you say you are.
Duriel, my mental health number just went down to 5 with this conversation. You know what I'm saying? God, duh.
Sir, you were warned within the first 5 minutes of the conversation.
Yeah, pretty much.
Funny.
Pretty much.
Oh man.
So we are going to go ahead because we already see a part 2 definitely needs to be needed to this conversation.
Word
so
up.
we are going to go ahead and end this because we are still supposed to do a 9 o'clock for the regular 9 o'clockers.
Oh,
I'm off to work. What, Sasha? Sorry, my dog just busted my room.
So we could go ahead and we'll go ahead and end out with our outros. The next episode is still kind of on mental health, but we look at more of self-care and people know, are you aware of your triggers and stuff like that?
okay.
So,
Good for y'all. Good for y'all.
yes, definitely, because it's important. It's very important. So we'll go ahead. Matter of fact, Neil, go ahead and give your outro for tonight.
I didn't have anything written down. You know what I'm saying?
Just
Go off the top. Go off the dome.
Go off the dome. Okay. Tougher than leather. I'm sorry, you didn't mean like that, right?
we was finna get it.
Yo, I was about to go into the cycle. I was about to go in. You hear me? No, but on the real, I don't know if I said it before, but my name, y'all know my name is Neil. I did mental health for 20 years while I was in the military. But outro on the real tip, shout out to this podcast. This is so necessary. I applaud you guys. I'm going to do whatever I can to make this joint go viral because these kind of conversations need to happen more often, especially with people that look like us. Also on the outro tip, I would gladly come and do this again on any topic that y'all have. Because I've learned so much tonight. Shout out to Miss Francine, you know what I'm saying, for all you gave. And like I said, I appreciate y'all tremendously. Duriel, you my man. Let's chop it up again.
But facts.
Francine.
I'm glad I could make it. I try to be here more often as I can. T, glad y'all doing y'all thing. Mental health in the Black community, I speak on it all the time.
Yeah.
I'm just a unapologetically dope social worker from the hood doing her thing.
Yes. You need to market that.
Yeah.
That's
I want a shirt.
That should be a
talk about
hashtag.
that.
Hashtag.
I'm gonna do you like you do me. We finna talk about that. Yes. We finna talk about that. For real.
That's good stuff.
Yes. Duriel.
I was right. My bad.
I see.
All right, so you know me, I always try to go deep, pull back the onion and everything. Again, like everybody said, these are the conversations that we need to have. We need to have not just talk about it though. That's it's easy to sit here and talk and talk and talk. We can talk for hours about the subject, but when the rubber meets the road, do you put what you learn or what you heard to work? So I challenge everybody that's watching. I challenge everybody that's listening, that's gonna watch, that's in the future that's gonna watch, whatever. I challenge you to everything that you hear. One, to put to use. Two, to add to. And when I say add to, go learn some more. Go figure out some more. Once you do that, pay it back to somebody else. Because the only way we're gonna be able to address this, not even just address it, only way we're gonna be able to overcome all of this is if we continue to grow and we continue to pass it down and not only down but up. Because yes, we're doing it for the future, but you also got to understand where we got it from. We have to help them out too.
Super real.
That's all I got.
Super real.
Meeks, did you see Duriel shout out the ancestors? Did you see these?
Is that what happened?
He said, "All right now, people gonna
Okay.
come for you."
Don't start.
Meeks, go hit your outro.
You got me over here with this tight ass shirt on. Don't start.
Baby, that shirt is loose. We can see wrinkles in waves in your shirt versus seeing your bones in your chest. That shirt fits just fine, and you welcome.
Nika.
Say it with your chest. And that's what we're doing. No, but whether you saging it up, blazing it up, talking it out, or walking it out, find out what works for you. Get your peace back. That's all I got on that note. And to be continued.
All right. And my shout out, I appreciate Neil and Francine for coming on tonight. Y'all have definitely blessed me. And I could definitely say, I don't know how many mental health conversations can you have where you laugh. And laughter is actually very important. It's medicine for the soul. So I appreciate y'all. Both of y'all will be coming back on again. I already got the topics. So be ready.
Let me just say, my fee is I want a Smedium t-shirt.
Hey, I'm gonna get you a 3X in Korean size. It's gonna fit perfect.
That's all I need.
It's gonna fit perfect. Telling you.
Oh Jesus!
I can't even.
Either. So thank everybody for tuning in tonight on the second episode that we've had this month on mental health, and our other one, which is our regular scheduled time. Give us about 5 minutes to go kick that off, and we got y'all. So thank y'all again for viewing on the Chronicles of a Black Sheep. See y'all in about 5 minutes.
See y'all later.